All right, we welcome on Assistant Coach Nolan Smith. If you have a question for Coach, please use the hand raise feature. And when you're not asking a question, we ask that you keep your line muted. Today we'll start with Brian Horace. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Coach Nolan, how's it going?
Doing good, Brian. How are you?
Not too shabby, not too shabby. So with you guys having played 8 games in 22 days before this 2-week break, what did you learn about the team, and what does this 2-week break allow you guys to accomplish?
Yeah, we learned a lot about our team. Obviously, there were some very good moments in these first 8 games. First thing for us is how competitive our team was in these games. We're very competitive and very together, especially on the defense and in the court. Defensively, our guys, they brought the energy and brought the fight every single night. So that was a big takeaway for us heading into everything. And then offensively, we feel like we're in a good place, but know that we can get into a much better place offensively. So using this time right now during exams to really focus on our offense and focus on scoring together more and movement and different things like that on the offense and the court. So we've been using this time wisely.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Steve Wiseman.
Yeah, Nolan. Hey, I wanted to follow up on the thing about the offense, in particular, half-court offense. You said that maybe better passing. Is that kind of the area where you're looking at? I mean, obviously, the last thing we saw was the second half at Ohio State, which didn't leave anybody with a good taste in their mouth going into this break.
Yep. No, absolutely. And that's really the game that we all sat down and watched together. And obviously, in the second half, we saw a lot of really the whole game. We saw a lot of things that we didn't like offensively, whether it was movement and just standing and watching each other with the ball, or whether it was missed kicks. There was a lot of missed kicks where obviously a lot of teams going into each game is going to say, hey, we have to make Duke make shots. But if we make the right kicks and our shots are wide open, we know that we have guys that should be shooting close to 40% from 3. But it has to be connected shots where it's a team shot, not individually. So just focus on that during this time has been a huge point of emphasis for our guys.
Brandon Marks.
Hey, Nolan. Yeah, I wanted to follow up on the 3-point shooting as well. That maybe is the only noticeable offensive weakness you guys have had so far. Is it a matter just of better spacing? Is it shot selection? And can you sort of walk us through the process of how you try and help the guys understand that and what is, maybe passing up a good shot for a great one?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of that's just really a lot of film work, for me working with the guards, showing our guards how we can get better shots. And then when we are getting those shots, are we connected on them? A lot of that's communication. A lot of that's making the right plays, making the right pass, taking tough 2s or taking a wide open 3. Which one is the better shot? We feel like all of our guards can get their own shot, but is that the best shot? So just really focus on scoring together. Very often, Coach Shire and I, we try not to talk about our 2010 time and our playing days. We're retired now, but I actually mentioned that to them. I was like, in 2010, Shire, Samuel, and myself, we scored together, all 3 of us. One drill penetration kick. We have a good core of guards that can be exactly like that, but they have to see that. They have to know that they need each other to score, and just going one-on-one is not going to get it versus a really good defensive team. And as we get into conference, we're going to play against a lot of really good defensive teams. They're going to scout us. They're going to know our faults. They're going to know how they can beat us, what they're going to try to do to beat us. But we can't beat ourselves. So if their teams are going to force us to kick, that should be something that we're really good at. So let's kick the ball.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Connor O'Neill.
Yeah, Nolan, I wanted to ask specifically about Trevor Keels. He had such a great debut and had some shining moments after that, but seemed like he was struggling a bit toward the end there. What's been the process like for him over the past week and in the next week to kind of get him back to where he needs to be?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And talking with Trevor and being in the gym a lot these last couple of days is really just getting back focused, knowing that now, he's the focal point of everyone's scout report up there with Paulo. So with that comes a lot of expectations, but also a lot of effort and hard work that you have to put in heading into each game and working harder to get your shots. And are you prepared for those shots when you're moving without the ball? You have to move more without the ball to get better shots for yourself. So just really showing him, like, look, it's a total different ball game than what it was coming into the season as to what it is now.
is there a way you could say, like, was he almost a victim of his own success with such a great game on a national stage like that?
Yeah, I mean, in a way he was, because, he came in and had an amazing coming out party, and then now you're the guy heading into each game that, like, we have to stop him. We have to stop him. So obviously Kentucky knew who he was, but not to that magnitude. Excuse me. Not to that magnitude. So now, for him, it's a different level of preparation that you have to have going into every single game. And he's ready for that. He's competitive enough for that. But now in this time period, we've like really honed in on, like, look, people are going to do this to you. You have to be ready. You have to move faster, and you have to get in a little bit better shape, to play at such a very high level.
All right, we'll go to Jim Sumner.
Hey, Nolan, good to see you again. I want to ask you about AJ. What does he have to do to become a regular part of the rotation? And with 3 non-conference games coming up next week, is that present a window for him to make a case for seeing the floor on a consistent basis?
Yes, absolutely. AJ's been working really, really hard, and he just has to stay positive and stay locked in on the task and trusting his work. He's been working hard, and he's had a great couple of days of practice here, and definitely in these next 3 games, we're going to look to throw him out there and use him and make sure he just continues to gain confidence on the court. And that's the biggest thing for him, is just gaining confidence. We saw it at the end of that one game where he went off and made some big time shots, big time plays, but just some extended minutes are going to be really huge for him to solidify himself in our rotation.
Right now, Duke has a 7-player rotation. If he gets in the rotation, does he take minutes from somebody else, or does it become an 8-player rotation?
I think we would all love for it to become an 8-man rotation, but definitely to limit some minutes of certain guys and give some guys some rest and not have guys playing, over 35 minutes. There's definitely minutes out there that we would like to, share around. We know we have a very strong 8, but we have some guys 9, 10 that can also be there as well that are working hard during this time. But if AJ comes along, we definitely know that we're waiting on him and need him, to produce.
Yeah, thanks.
Jonathan Lebanon.
Hey, Coach. To go back to something you were talking about a little bit earlier, you guys have 3 more non-conference games before you reach the ACC play. You've seen a lot of good things so far. What exactly do you need to see improve or change to get you ready to face that sort of consistently high-level opponent?
Yeah, I think for us, the consistency on the offensive end and just being connected offensively. Defensively, like I said, we're very competitive on the defense end of the court. And we know when we need to get 3 stops in a row in a game that we can do that versus anybody. We're very versatile defensively, and we know that we can rebound and get stops and push offensively. But when we get down to the offensive end, are we going to score together? Are we going to, be able to make enough passes and be connected when teams, don't allow us to score quick? Those are the things offense that, getting into conference that we know we have to, tighten up.
David Thompson.
Hey, Nolan. Just curious, kind of looking back at that second half at Ohio State, how much of that really was a wake-up call for this team, and in what way has this team kind of come together through that adversity? What was really the take-home from that?
Yeah, I think the take-home was, being in our first true road game, I think our guys definitely relaxed, and they will say that there was a sense of, okay, we're coming off a big win. We handled that great because obviously we put together a good first half, but then the start of the second half, there was something there that was missing. So to come out and be able to put a team away, but do it together. You don't put a team away on the road by yourself. And when you end up trying to do it by yourself, you end up not scoring for a long period of time. So I think just staying connected on the road is it's going to be a big thing for us heading into our next true road game, which will be at Clemson. So just being able to fix that on the road will be key.
All right, we'll go to Todd Gibson.
Yeah, Nolan, what's this time like for the freshmen? They're going through exams, they're not playing games. Practice is probably a little sporadic because of exams. What is this time like for a freshman, and how are you guys adjusting to it?
Yeah, this time for a freshman is very tiring. Mentally, definitely more mentally than physically, but then when you factor in some hour workouts where they're coming in, and you can tell during this time that they're fatigued mentally. So we try not to give them too much new stuff because they're worried about their history exam or their Spanish exam, which Joey has tonight. I know he's studying for that, but it's definitely a challenging time for a freshman and for all of our guys, but definitely freshmen who coming off a COVID year where they were online, now they're back in classes. It's a very different time for them with these exams. So once they're done, it's definitely a huge sigh of relief on their faces and on their minds that they're ready to get back to basketball.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Nolan.
Yes, sir.
Got time for a couple more. We'll go to Bryan McLaughlin.
Hey, Nolan. I have a question about Wendell. It seems to blend a little bit in the first half, still very productive, doesn't change his productivity. But in the second half, he seems a lot more assertive, more visually there. Is that part of the maturation process of him, or is that a strategic approach from you guys as a coaching staff? What is it that kind of brings him out in that second half and makes him seem to be so much more assertive?
Yeah, I think right now that's all on him. I think that's kind of his way. It's kind of like comes into it like a boxer, just kind of filling out the fight, and then he kind of gets going once he knows the tempo, knows what he can get. So I'd like to think that maybe that's him being strategically very smart and just taking his time. But we'd also love to see him throw himself into the fight with haymakers and let's go. So I'll talk to him about that. 'Cause I definitely would love to see him just go off for 20 in the first half and then finish him off in the second half too.
All right, we'll go back to Jonathan Lebanon.
Hey, Coach. For you specifically, you've had about a month into this season in your new role. How has that been for you, and how do you feel differently about it now than maybe you did a month or 2 months ago?
Oh man, I'm a little more tired now. I can definitely say that. You start adding in scouts, but before the scouts, I'm changing some diapers at home with my two kids. Then I'm staying up late doing scouts. Then my baby girl's waking me up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., getting them ready for daycare. Then I'm coming in doing more scouts. So it's definitely a different role, but I'm loving it. I'm loving the involvement I get to have now on every game. So it's been a very fun time, and of course being on the court, working with the guys and working with the guards specifically, it's been great times. So obviously, I need to do a better job of getting them to make kicks. So that's my focus right now.
All right, we'll wrap it up with Brendan Marks.
Hey, Nolan. Yeah, I had another Wendell question. It just seems like he is such a more confident player this season, especially compared to the last 2 years. And he's sort of following the Nolan Smith growth trajectory for his career at this point. Can you sort of speak to what you attribute that gain in confidence from, and maybe some insight from conversations you've had with him that sort of speak to that growth he's made?
Yeah, I think it just comes with the natural just growth in this game and basketball that sometimes just comes with time. It just comes with time. I think he made the choice this summer to stay here and work with Coach Will and focus on his body and become a better athlete. He worked on his run, and sometimes people probably, oh, how do you work on your run? Well, he changed his gait. He started getting a longer gait to his run. And that was key. Now you see him making these athletic plays. His hang time is greater than it was last year. Last year, he'd go in there, make contact, and boom, he's on the ground. He's throwing up a bad shot. Now he's making contact, and he's able to float and still finish. So all that just started with the work that he put on his body this summer, and then just mentally. Now he's a junior. He's been through the ups and downs. He's been through the battles. He's been talked about. He's seen what people might be saying about him, but now he truly believes in himself. In his game, he knows what his game is. He knows what it takes, and he knows that he's our leader. And he's been the best captain and leader that we've had here in a long time. So I know he's really taken a big jump. So just excited to see the remainder of this season. He knows he needs to put his foot on the gas. And to Brian's question, he needs to do it earlier, and obviously we need him to set the tone in the first half and the second half. So he has a long way to go, but I mean, his growth has been simply amazing this year.
Thank you.